I'm Melissa and welcome to My Word Melly. So in today's video, I thought I'll do some reactions to 1-star ratings of popular books that I have read so far this year. So I thought I'll pick 5 books out of those and torture myself by going through 1-star reviews, because these 5 books which I picked are books that I actually loved and enjoyed. And before I start, just want to put it out there that everyone has the right for their opinion. Not everyone enjoys books, everyone has their own opinion, so I respect each and everyone's reviews. This is just for fun and maybe to see if I agree with you. So not going to offend anyone out there. Starting off with Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I absolutely enjoyed this rom-com and the spice and all that. It wasn't like extremely spicy like It Happened One Summer, but it was an amazing read for me. Nevertheless, I don't mean this to sound cruel, but that was one of the worst books I've experienced in quite some time. The plot wasn't really a plot, and the sex scenes and the commentary were absurd. A direct quote: he could crush grapes between his butt cheeks. And characters I felt zero attachment to for any reason at all. Good lord. The direct quote, I have to agree, it was way wacky and tacky. And like I said, it wasn't that spicy and didn't have that many scenes. And like they tried, okay, I have to agree, I have to give that to this review. Like, yes, those scenes are not that nice, but like I enjoyed the book, and the plot wasn't really a plot. I can't agree for that. I kind of liked the storyline so much. Garbage. I think this is a result of her TikTok popularity and feeling like she needs to publish something every few months. It's okay to take time to write a book. I kind of have to agree. Like, going into this book, I was going into a Tessa Bailey book, a book by the author who wrote It Happened One Summer, and it didn't really meet that mark. So now, just reading this review, it does make sense. Like, she's trying to just keep on pushing out books because she's like so trendy on TikTok and all that. But I won't go as far to say garbage. I still liked her style of writing. I still would read more Tessa Bailey books. I feel like he was more in love with her boobs than anything else. Kinda had to agree. Like, this main character was kind of obsessed in her physical stature more than her personality. And later on, he did like her personality as well. But his eyes are just there. Dear Tessa Bailey, what is happening? I felt more tension and emotions while reading my math book. I love math, so if you felt like you were reading math books, so then I kind of have to agree, but I get it. You just hated it and you hate maths, I believe. But no, this book was really sweet and corny. I know it was tacky and all, but like, it was a nice rom-com. Second book is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. Y'all know I love the Infernal Devices, and when The Last Hours came out, I was so excited. I loved Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, as well as I read Chain of Thorns, but it was kind of a 3.5 to 4-star read for me, while the first two sequels or like prequels were 5-star reads. I had my comments as to what I didn't like about it. Y'all can watch my wrap-up videos and check out all my thoughts on each of these books by clicking the playlist up here. Anywho, let's see what are the 1-star ratings this book got. Usually I like Cassandra Clare's books, but I really did struggle to finish this book. There was too much description, too many day-to-day interactions and emotional baggage, and too little action. I think it is the worst book she has written so far. I only continued reading it to finish the story. I kind of agree. Like, I won't say this is like the worst book she wrote or anything like that. I won't go that far. Too much description, yes, it was to a point of boring and less action. Like, if you all listen to my review, guys, I think the most action and the peak was in the last 30-ish% of the book, which was just absolutely annoying. But yes, I just wanted more, and this book just didn't. It just kept dragging and dragging and dragging. It was just describing things over and over again. So I kind of agree with this review. Why did I put myself through this? I kind of asking that myself other than it being in the review, but that's how the review starts. Way too many perspectives and not even properly divided into chapters. Oh, yes, that was really annoying. Like, you start a chapter with one person's POV, then within the chapter itself, it just like next paragraph starts with someone else's. Like, it was utterly annoying. You did not know whose perspective will get next within the same chapter either. So, kind of felt all over the place, but I kind of like multiple POV, just better organized maybe. Moreover, all the perspectives sounded the same, save for Thomas, who sounded like a clueless 8-year-old. The phrase, "shut up, Thomas," was also used multiple times. Yes, written in capital. Agreed. Everyone was just going through shit. That's all I can say. Also, way too many mentions of characters' forearms. Mhm. We'll talk tomorrow will be the absolute death of me. I lost brain cells trying to figure out why the characters refuse to communicate with each other. Oh, yes. Miscommunication trope is like the most prominent trope throughout this trilogy, and I don't like miscommunication trope, but this took it to the next level. Kinda agree. That's where 1 star was dropped when I reviewed it. The last hours will never be the infernal devices. Heck yeah. I think Cassandra Clare tried, right? And I was so eager when I got to know you're going to see the kids of Tessa and Jem and Will, not Jem, kind of Tessa and Will, and then Jem going to be around those children, and then Sophie's, Gideon's. I was excited, but this would never be an Infernal Devices or close to it even. I don't think she could ever write a book that would come close to the Infernal Devices trilogy. Never. Hundreds of pages of Cordelia's wines regarding James and Matthew. Eye roll. And barely any moment between Kit and Grace to let them have their moment before you decided to kill off in the middle of the book the only smart, not annoying character in this whole series for no freaking reason at all. Freak this shit. Cassandra, you are going to hell for what you did to this particular character. I hate you. This review was kind of spoilery, I got to say, but yeah, man, like it was about Cordelia whining, James pining, Matthew trying to figure his shit out, and like other characters did not get enough of anything. And then she goes and does the plot twist, which was a very cruel thing to do and not a plot twist at all, I guess. But again, agree. The next book is Loath to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. So I read this book, actually I read the 3 novellas separately, and I kind of enjoyed it. I love the STEM references. I loved Below Zero like the most because it had the most amount of STEM references in it. But let's see what these people thought about it and why it's a 1 star for them. I had hopes that STEM books would be more inspiring for girls, but these 3 stories were simply about romance. I guess I missed the point of loathing love being connected with women in STEM careers. Agreed. I was also thinking it would inspire more people to want to be in the industry of STEM, and showing that women could be in STEM and as well as find love as well. I just didn't. True. True. It was mostly romance, so not STEM for books that are um, sold as STEM books. It was more romance with a smidge of STEM, but still, nevertheless, I enjoyed it, and I can't agree entirely with this book. With this review. This was my second attempt at something that was written by this author, and my last. Her novels are not for me. You can obviously tell she has an ideal man type in a weird way. True. She always has this damsel in distress, or like she makes the female character kind of a bit weak. True, I feel that. The characters, the conflicts, the resolution to the conflicts are pretty much the same for all three short stories. Agreed. I think I gave this book a 3 star or 4 star, I guess. The main characters get annoying, shameful to their respective fields. Agreed. These fit better as fan fiction than actually published work. No, I kind of like that the books are published, but it shouldn't have been made one book like this. I think as 3 separate novellas would have been better than having all three together. Just my opinion. They are all insufferable. Same character, different profession. P.S. The girls are all, I'm not like other girls. I kind of have to agree. I do agree, but still, I wouldn't give it a 1 star, guys. I wouldn't. Like, it was a cute read. It was nice. I will read Love Hypothesis. Like, these books convinced me to pick up Love Hypothesis someday down the line. So, I will always give Ali Hazelwood a chance for sure. The last review for Ali Hazelwood. My third Hazelwood book, and it's clear that there is a recurring theme of small, fragile women in STEM who are intellectually smart but emotionally incompetent and unavailable. Agreed. I did not like that. Like, you don't need, like, just because I am a woman in STEM, you don't need to make me feel inferior, right? You don't. Yes, there are so much of sexism going on in this field, but you don't need to make the characters all feel inferior and weak like this. In all three novellas in this book, they fall for the man, contemplate about having sex, decide to do so, and discover it's this pleasurable, life-changing activity. Agreed, was lame. The lack of communication between characters is atrocious, and each woman cannot make a decision for themselves without their friends' involvement. Agreed. There are best friends, there are times when you make decisions, but this was like, I can't decide without talking to this one and that one. Did not like that either. I just felt like these novellas are missing something. I'd like to see Hazelwood move away from these issues and onto something real and tangible. I am utterly disappointed with this book. I won't go as far as to say I'm disappointed, but I kind of agree to different aspects that this review had. I do. But still, I think I'm happy with the rating I gave this book because my experience with these books were fun and enjoyable. So, yeah, I'm good. I know I was torturing myself so long, but this is going to be the absolute torture of this video because the book I'm going to pick on next is a book that I so thoroughly enjoyed and bonded, and it's one of my favorite books of the year, and like definitely it's there, and that is Beyond the One by Tom Felton. Guys, read it, please. Some people are meant to write memoirs about their life. Tom Felton is not one of them. Ouch! I kind of like the way Tom Felton wrote his memoir. It was real, it was raw, it was funny and laced with humor. I absolutely loved it, and I love the writing. So I don't agree with this. My god, this is outrageous. Someone with literally nothing to say but the need to capitalize on memories. Terrible book. Come on, guys. Everyone has the freedom to say what they want, and if it's about their life, they write about their life. And like, why doesn't he have anything to say? I thought he gave a lot of good points and things that I just. Okay, really torture. If Tom Felton knew what was good for him, he would have renounced JKR in this and talked about, I don't know, anything. This would have been called BTS of Harry Potter from Tom's POV. Kind of agree with things that are happening in the world and, things JK Rowling has mentioned. I kind of agree with the first part of this point, and yes, this book was about like the behind the scenes of Harry Potter and more. It wasn't just that, you got to see a lot of that, but even more as well. So I don't think they should change the name. I kind of like the one, like sorry, like the name Beyond the One, like what happened after Harry Potter, what happened during Harry Potter, like Beyond the One, what happened. So I kind of like it. The last book I selected for this video is none other than Six Crimson Crayons by Elizabeth Lim. One of the books that I read this month. You all will get to know more about my thoughts on that book next week in my April wrap-up video. So don't forget to subscribe and as well as click on the little bell icon so that you all get notified when I post that video. Anyway, let's see why these people gave it a 1 star. First book, I've DNF'd. This book was cringy as hell. First off, I'll admit the idea was good, the plot was good, and I was exciting to see where it was going. I was excited to see where it was going. Until the stepmother put a freaking bucket over her head. I mean, out of anything you could have you chose a freaking bucket. The whole time I was just wondering why. I loved everything else, but maybe next time don't involve the bucket. The bucket wasn't needed. Thanks. The bucket, it was actually a bowl, okay? A bowl. According to how the book was explained, the bowl was like covering herself so that no one would recognize her. I also was trying to understand why the stepmother put a bowl on her head. Like, you could curse people to not recognize her, put a veil, put a shadow, I don't know, change her face, but a bowl. And I was like, I was struggling to understand why the bowl was like for a good few chapters right after this happened. And then it just started making sense, but not entirely. So I also didn't like the bowl because it was meant to, I don't know, distinguish her features and to make her shut up, but just didn't make sense. I agree with that part, but again, I won't DNF it. I love this book. Like, I just read it, I just devoured it. DNF at 18%. I truly don't understand the rave reviews. There's nothing remarkable here. I don't agree. I kind of like this book and it's making me want to read more and more Asian mythology books, okay? Perhaps I should have given it more time, but it took weeks for me to get to the point where she is cursed by her stepmother and I still didn't care. No, it didn't take me weeks. I found the writing very fast paced and enjoyable. Despite the author's best efforts, I didn't feel immersed in the world. I'm glad some people liked it, but honestly, in my opinion, it's written in a juvenile tone and the world building is lackluster at best. I didn't like the world building at all. I don't think there was proper world building in this book. In book 2, definitely yes, but not this book. So I didn't even consider world building in this to that point. But writing, I loved it. It was very straightforward. The final review that was picked is very lengthy, so bear with me. I hated this book, and that's not something I say very often, but it was so incredibly boring, unoriginal, and ridiculous that I am seriously wondering where all the 5-star reviews came from. Did we even read the same book? I am offended. Oh my god, it wasn't that bad. I'm just going to just skim through this. I'm not going to read all, but I'll just leave it here on the screen for y'all to read it through. But one point in this review that I want to comment on. One of my favorite lines from the book. I glared at him, thinning my lips and sucking my cheeks to form a monstrous expression that seemed to petrify the cooks. Just how, like, my mind was trying to figure out or to visualize how this particular scene happened, and I agree with this person's comment on that. Mind you, she has a wooden bowl stuck to her head. A wooden bowl. You can't even see her eyes, and then she does this, like she thins her lips, she glares, and like if the wooden bowl is like stuck over her head, like if she's submerged into a wooden bowl, how would you even see her lips or eyes that they are glaring? Like there were so many scenarios like that where I was wondering, so now did she remove the bowl? Or isn't the bowl there? Or like is the bowl see-through? But they said it's a wooden bowl, so I'm like, dear Lord, what? Again, guys, the bowl part sucked. But I love the book. I so love the book. I think, guys, I tortured myself enough with that. This is a wrap to this video. I am just dumbfounded by some of the 1-star reviews these popular books received. And I kind of liked the books, right? And I enjoyed reading them. Like some books I even loved. And people are still having these opinions where again I respect their opinions, but oh my word. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, do give it a thumbs up and share this video with friends and family. Back in the day, I also did a 1-star review for Caravel, if I'm not mistaken. I'll leave a link to that here so that y'all can check out that amazing video as well, where I'm torturing myself. I think y'all can get some enjoyment or entertainment of my struggling, I guess. So, with the promises of seeing you next week with another fun and bookish video, let me wrap up this video by saying bye from Oh My Word Melly.